Back. So I will go over the accounts module. So in accounts we have invoice. So I will raise an invoice. So click on add invoice. So it will ask you to select the client. Okay. And then if the invoice is associated to a particular project, you can select a particular project. This is optional. So invoice date, right? And then what is the due date of that invoice? Okay. And then uh, what needs to be displayed from in the from details, invoice from details. Okay. And then what is the invoice to? So after selected the client, so it automatically populated some details from the client details like IL of Atanis, Kudumalpet, his phone number and email. So if you want, you can add some more details here as well. You can edit here as well. So if you want, you can edit. And then which is the bank details to which the invoice needs to be paid, so those details here. And then invoice tax details, so whether this invoice includes tax or excludes tax, those kind of details. Okay. And then invoice type, whether it is recurring invoice or is like single invoice. Okay. So I select like includes tax, and then add invoice entry. The invoice description, either it can be entered here or it can be selected from the configuration. So if you have already added some description in the configuration, invoice description configuration, you can select it from there and it will automatically populate from there. Okay. And then you will mention the tax here, like and then you will add. So it will automatically calculate the tax and then CGST, SGST, and what is the total amount. Since it is includes tax, so the tax is included inside the 1,000 rupees. Okay. So once I save it, it will generate. So I will show like already existing invoice. Okay. So if I have already have one created one invoice. So this is the invoice number, right? And then invoice date, this is the due date. Invoice to the client, right? It is not associated with any project, so I left it blank. So invoice from, invoice to, invoice bank details, and what is the tax details? This is out of scope of tax. Okay. So if I click on this download, okay, so I will see the invoice like this. So invoice number, invoice date, due date, invoice from, and invoice to. Okay. And then the description, right? So and then the bank details. Okay. So here I can add. So once the invoice is raised, consider the client has paid your invoice in partial or in full. Okay. So what you will do is like you will add receipts. Okay. So while adding receipt, what is the receipt date and whether the receipt is for a particular invoice. So it will list down all the invoices. So you can select the particular invoice, right? And then receipt date, and then mode of payment, right? Cash or check, online transfer. So if it is check, means what is the check date, check number, what is the bank from which it was drawn. Okay. So the drawee bank, where it is paid. Okay. So your bank. Okay. So all those details you will enter, and the amount, what is the receipt amount. Okay. Once you click on save, it will be all in the receipts. So you can go to the view receipts and you can see the receipts, like what is the invoice associated with that receipt. So if you click on the particular receipt, so it says like, so receipt number, receipt date, mode of payment, and then what is the mobile number, amount, how much amount he has paid. Okay. So what is the invoice? So what is the total invoice amount? What is the balance amount? So this is calculated based on uh, all the receipts receipt for that invoice. So for this invoice, right? So far I have received 2750. Okay. So the invoice amount is like 3000. Balance amount is like 250. The status is like partially paid. Okay. Okay, fine. So next I will go over the sales lead. So sales lead uh, for I will create a sales lead for a particular employee. Okay. So for example, this support user, I created a sales lead for this client, like um, So I created a sales lead for that particular user. Okay, so this sales is for a particular customer like Ayla Patanis. Okay, so what he needs to do is like he needs to follow up with the client, and then he need to schedule meeting, and he needs to close the deal. Okay, close the sales. Okay, so once he once the user logs in, right? So once the user logs in his dashboard, he will see like in the sales lead, right? So assigned or in progress sales lead. So he sees like add additional Windows Server for project. Okay, so assigned date is this one. So what he does is like he starts working on this sales lead. Okay, so I am talking with the customer in this. Okay, okay. Consider he has spoken to the customer and he says like he wants to meet him by tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Okay, so what you will do is like you will add a follow-up reminder, like remind date like tomorrow, right? And then you will say like meet customer in person at 11 a.m. Okay, so he has added a reminder. So in his dashboard you will see like my sales lead follow-up reminders. So there is one follow-up reminder which is available for him, which he needs to work on. So meet customer in person. So what is the date? Like 29th, and meet customer in person at 11 a.m. So if so tomorrow, if we close the deal, then he will say like close sales rate. If we further the customer says like meet after 1 week, then he will again update the follow up reminder like what is the remain date and what is the message. So it will go on. Okay. So this is sales lead. Okay. Next is like AMC. Um, so AMC is like annual maintenance cost. So we can add for a particular client. Um, so it is like a annual server maintenance. So what is the start date and what is the end date? So what is the end date? So you need to select the end date. Okay. So it may be like 3 months or like okay. Okay, it is like 1 month. Okay, so we can create a ticket to remind the user like this AMC is going to end. Okay, so I will say like 1 day before. So 1 day before the end date, it will automatically create an ticket to the particular user like this AMC is going to end. By which the client will be knowing like okay I need to renew the AMC. Okay, you will pay the renewal amount by which AMC get renewed. Okay, so this is the AMC. So we can see the active AMC. So this is the active AMC, right? So when the ticket will be created is like 29/6/2023, one ticket will be created. So if you want to renew this AMC, you can click on renew. If you want to close this AMC, you can click on close this AMC. So that is AMC module. Okay, and then product module. So you have in your the product renewal may be for a particular client. So the client might have some licenses or he might purchase some products. So for which we may be maintaining licenses, right? For example, Windows license or like Adobe Photoshop license or any kind of license. Like it may be a server license, it may be an external third-party license, like whatever. Okay, so those kind of details we can keep it here, by which it will be automatically notified, like it will be tracked using the reminders like product renewal reminders, so that nothing is if you are maintaining in an Excel sheet or in email, you might easily get lost. So in a inside the application, you can handle everything like whatever renewals you have, upcoming renewals, right? It may be a domain renewal, it may be a license renewal, anything. So all those things you can add it in product renewal. Okay. So you can attach files also, descriptive lengthy document also related to that particular renewals. Okay. And when you want to add a reminder, so for example 15 days before the renewal date, or 1 month before the renewal date, so you can mention it here, right? Number of days before end date, it will create a reminder. Okay. And then next module is like we have tickets and events, sorry, meetings and events. So my meetings, you can create a meeting, add meeting, title of the meeting, description of the meeting, and then you can attach files for the meeting. You can select project if it is associated to a particular project, that meeting, and who are all the meeting attendees. Like it will list all the users available in the CRM. So you can select the users who are is going to attend meeting, and then whether it is a recurring meeting. So if you click on yes, so it recurs by whether daily, weekly, monthly, right? Or recurrence like number of occurrences. So for example, I want the meeting to be conducted 10 times. So once 10 times the meeting is done, I want to close this meeting. Okay, close that meeting. Okay, so this is add meeting. And then similar to that, we have my events. You can create event. Okay, so event is not available for this user because he is not admin. So event is only for admin. So okay, I will log in as an admin. Okay, so I see here like 1 second. Okay, so my events, right? So add event. So I can click on add event, right? So the title, description, attach file for the event, and audience. So who is the audience for that particular event? Whether it is a private event or all employees event or all employees and clients event. So if you choose private, it will ask you to select the event attendee. So it is like similar to the meeting attendee. You will select the event attendee. So if I choose like all employees, so it will invite all the employees. Okay, it is an all employee meeting. Sorry, all employee event. Okay, so if it says like all employees and clients, so it will send a notification to all the employees and clients of this CRM application. Okay. Okay. Once I create the event, so it will be displayed in the event calendar. So everyone will know from the event calendar. Okay, next is like announcements. So we want to add some announcements which is displayed to either internal announcement or external announcement or all. Okay, so only to client, or internal means all the staffs. Okay, and then all means both employees and client. Okay, so what I will do is like I will add only client only audience, right? And then I will select date is like today and end date is like tomorrow. Okay, and then say like um, all day showcase of CRM in your office. Okay, so I just added some announcement. Okay, so what I will do is like I will log out and log in as the user. Okay, so if I log in as user, I don't see any announcements in the dashboard. Okay, I will log out. I will log in as client. Okay, So in the dashboard, I see like there is an announcement here. So in this section, all day showcase of CRM in office meeting hall. So there is an announcement here. Okay. So the announcements like you can see the past announcements like or the whichever the latest announcements will be displayed in the dashboard. The past announcements you can see it from his announcements by clicking on the announcements page. Okay, from the menu, announcements menu. Okay, so once I log in as a client, I can see my tickets, I can see my AMC, I can see my projects. So whatever projects I have access, that project I can see. Okay, so if I see here, I have access to these two projects, right, as a client. So I click on this, I see like what are the project messages, and then what are the project dependencies, right? What are the sub projects under this, and then what are the meeting minutes. So some of the tabs are not available to the client because those are internal. Okay, so if I click on the sub project, I will go and see the sub project, whatever tabs, whatever documents, whatever messages available in the, right. Okay, and then in the accounts, I will view the invoices which is raised to me, like invoices raised to me. So I can see the invoice details here, and then I can download the invoice, and then I can also view the receipts which is received from me, right? How many amount I have paid for those invoice, right? So it is like from the client perspective, he will be knowing what is happening. Okay, he will have full details about the tickets and then invoice and receipts and then the project. Okay, so I will log out and log in as the admin. Now I will go to the HR module, and then I can see some of the reports like which is only available for admin, like for example employees timesheet leave report, right? So if I click on this, I can know like from the particular date, from start date to end date. So what happened? Like for this employee, how many timesheets are there? How many CL leaves he has taken? So all those details I can see here. Okay, for a given month or given a period of from date and to date. Okay. Okay. And apart from that, there is an email. So if we click on this email, based on the email configuration which we did in admin email config and email details, it will ask you to select the particular, because I didn't add any email details here, so it is not coming here. So if we click on that email, if you select that particular email, it will open the inbox here itself. This is instead of going to a separate email inbox, from the application itself you can see that particular email. Okay, and chats, this is internal chat, this is not exposed to client. So you can select a particular user and then chat with the particular okay. So I just send a message. Okay, so once I log out and then log in as the particular user, and then I will see a chat here, right? So I click on this, and then admin, I received a message from admin. So I click on this, I just saw the message. Okay, so I didn't reply to the message, so I log out. Okay, I log in as admin, and then I go to chat. uh, I see a tick mark here, right? So I know like okay, that person has seen my message. Okay. Okay, fine. So I covered all the modules and features available in the CRM.